Beloved, as you step into this midnight hour, understand that you are not entering an ordinary moment. You are stepping into a spiritual battleground where destinies shift, chains break, and heaven responds to the cry of those who dare to pray. This is the hour where warriors arise, where intercessors stand between what is and what shall be, and where the power of God begins to overturn every dark agenda spoken against your life. I declare tonight, no weapon forged against you shall prosper. Every tongue rising in judgment is condemned, and every force that has monitored your progress is dismantled by the fire of God. As you lay your head to rest, I speak prophetically into your atmosphere. Let angels be dispatched on assignment. Let the Spirit of the Lord hover over your home. Let every demonic cycle collapse under the glory of God. You are not sleeping as a victim. You are resting as a conqueror. Tonight, every midnight attack will be reversed, every spiritual thief exposed, and every hidden plot scattered. May the God who neither slumbers nor sleeps stand guard over your destiny and cover you under the shadow of his wings. And as this atmosphere is stirred, I need you to engage your faith. Lift up your spirit, open your heart, and posture your soul for victory. If you're ready for breakthrough, if you're ready for divine intervention, if you're ready for heaven to fight for you tonight, type amen in the comments, like this video, subscribe to this channel, and comment where you're watching from, because tonight, your midnight becomes your moment of mighty deliverance. This midnight hour is a divine battleground where spiritual victories are won before the sunrise. And as you settle your heart into this sacred moment, I want you to understand the weight of what is happening around you and within you. Midnight is not just a time on the clock. It is a spiritual threshold, a crossing point between what was and what will be. It is the hour where destinies are negotiated in the unseen realm, where spiritual forces gather, where cycles begin and end, where voices rise and fall, where the heavens listen, and where the earth responds. When the world grows quiet and the air becomes still, the spirit realm becomes fully active. And every prayer you release in this hour carries an amplified force. This is the hour when your voice becomes a weapon, your faith becomes a shield, your words become fire, and your presence becomes a declaration that you refuse to be defeated. Midnight has always been the hour where prisoners are freed, where foundations shake, where angels move, where deliverance is birthed, and where God reveals himself as the one who works while man is sleeping. So as you step into this moment, you must know that you are not passive. You are participating in a divine exchange, deeply involved in the outcome of your future, shaping the atmosphere around you, and aligning your destiny with the will of God. At midnight, the world around you may appear silent, but the spirit realm is anything but silent. This is the hour where spiritual battles rage, where decisions are made concerning your life, where attacks often intensify, and where breakthroughs are released. That is why God positions midnight not as a moment of vulnerability, but as a moment of incredible authority. When you pray at this hour, your prayer pierces through darkness. When you decree at this hour, your words travel farther and faster. When you worship at this hour, heaven leans in closer and listens with intentionality. Midnight has always been a time where God shifts the trajectory of his people. Think of Paul and Silas, bound in a prison, surrounded by darkness, wrapped in chains, guarded by captors who believed they had the final say. Yet at midnight, as others slept, they lifted their voices in prayer and praise. It was their midnight cry that shook the foundations, broke the chains, opened the prison doors, and released divine intervention. The miracle did not wait for sunrise. It broke loose in the darkest hour. This is the hour where God shows the enemy that darkness does not dictate destiny, that delay does not cancel breakthrough, that imprisonment does not silence the voice of the redeemed. Midnight prayer is a spiritual technology, a God-given tool that activates power. summons angelic help and disrupts every demonic operation sent to hinder your progress. As you listen to this prayer in the stillness of the night, understand that your midnight hour is not a moment of fear. It is a moment of authority. You are stepping into a realm where you can speak to mountains, uproot old patterns, overthrow every negative decree spoken against you, and declare your freedom with boldness. The midnight hour is where the intercessor rises, where the warrior within you awakens, where the prophetic voice in you sharpens, and where the presence of God envelops you like a shield. This is not the hour where the enemy gains ground. This is the hour where you take ground back. Every whisper you release, every scripture you declare, every sigh of faith you breathe out becomes a weapon that shifts the battlefield in your favor. While others are sleeping physically, spiritually, or mentally, you are awake, alert, aligned, and engaging with heaven. You are declaring over your life that what God has promised shall come to pass, that no force of darkness can steal what God has ordained, that no curse can override the blessing, that no attack can stand against the power of His word. This is the hour where heaven begins to overturn verdicts that were spoken in secret places. Midnight is often when the enemy tries to reinforce cycles, patterns of fear, shame, delay, anxiety, lack, frustration, and confusion. But your midnight prayer interrupts those cycles. It breaks the authority of every negative pattern and inserts the will of God into your life again. You are standing in the gap for your future, for your family, for your household, for your destiny. Midnight prayer is not just about the present moment. It is about the days ahead. It is about breaking what has followed you, silencing what has whispered against you, and dismantling what has tried to limit you. You are walking into a new level of spiritual clarity, a deeper level of discernment, and a sharper awareness of God's presence. The midnight hour unveils what the enemy tried to hide. It exposes the traps set before you. It reveals the plans of darkness that were designed to delay you. In this moment of deep stillness, the voice of God becomes clearer, the sound of His guidance becomes stronger, and the assurance of His protection becomes richer. In this sacred hour, heaven is not distant, it is near. God is not passive. He is active. He is watching over you with a fierce love, guarding you with a divine intensity, and covering you with a power that the enemy cannot penetrate. Every time you pray at midnight, you are declaring to the realm of darkness that you are not afraid, you will not back down, and you will not be silenced. You are declaring that the plans of God are superior to the schemes of darkness, that His promises outweigh every threat, and that His word is final. Midnight is the hour where God begins to reorder the affairs of your life, where He restores what was stolen, where He rebuilds what was broken, and where He renews what was weakened. You may be listening to this prayer as you lay down to sleep, but understand that your spirit is not sleeping. Your spirit is waging war, claiming territory, and enforcing victory. This midnight hour is a moment where heaven begins to shift you into alignment with divine purpose. You are not praying from a place of fear. You are praying from a place of authority. You are not crying out as a victim. You are commanding as a victor. Midnight is the hour where God invites you into His strategy, where He whispers insights into your heart, where He reveals assignments, breaks burdens, and pours out fresh oil. As you enter this moment, any heaviness you have carried begins to lift. Any confusion surrounding your next step begins to clear. Any spiritual fog clouding your path begins to dissipate. Midnight prayer has a cleansing effect, a healing effect, a strengthening effect, because in this hour your spirit becomes aligned with the heartbeat of God. His presence surrounds you, fills you, saturates you, and strengthens you for what lies ahead. The midnight hour is a divine appointment, a purposeful pause where the clutter of the day is silenced so the voice of God can be heard. As you listen to this prayer, your spirit is rising. You are being sharpened. You are being fortified. You are being prepared for victory. Midnight is not your breaking point. It is the hour where God begins to shift the trajectory of your life, where angels begin to move on your behalf, where answers begin to form in the unseen, where miracles begin to travel toward you. You may be lying quietly, but heaven is active. The atmosphere around you is changing. The battles that once intimidated you are losing power. The forces that once pursued you are retreating. The assignments sent against you are dissolving. This midnight hour is the place where your faith whispers, I will not be moved, and heaven answers, I am with you. It is the moment where your soul exhales and your spirit inhales the presence of the Almighty. It is where the old breaks and the new begins. It is where you step out of fear and into authority, out of exhaustion and into strength, out of uncertainty and into divine direction. Midnight prayer is not just something you listen to. It is something you align with, something you step into, something you embody. You are stepping into the power of God, the protection of God, the peace of God, and the presence of God. And as this midnight hour unfolds, heaven is securing victories for you before the sunrise. God is dismantling every hidden agenda of darkness that has been working against your destiny. And as you enter this sacred midnight hour, I want you to feel the calm assurance of knowing that heaven is fighting for you in ways you cannot yet see. In the quiet of the night, when everything around you slows down and the noise of the world settles, the presence of God moves with an intentional gentleness, yet with unstoppable force. This is the hour where he begins to unravel the knots the enemy tied, expose the traps laid before you, and break the invisible chains that have been pulling on your spirit. Even the battles you never understood, the delays that frustrated you, and the resistance that made no sense, God is now confronting them on your behalf. The plans formed in darkness are being brought into the light. The whispers spoken against you are being silenced. The invisible barriers around your life are being shattered. Heaven is not reacting. Heaven is orchestrating. And in this moment, God himself is stepping into the places you cannot reach, confronting the forces you cannot see, and correcting the paths where the enemy tried to mislead or distract you. Every hidden agenda that operated quietly behind the scenes, every unseen influence that tried to manipulate your progress, every spiritual interference that attempted to reroute your destiny is losing its grip. You may not have known the full story of what was happening in the background of your life, but God knew, and he has never been passive about your future. He has watched every plot, tracked every move of darkness, and counted every tear you cried without explanation. And now, in this midnight season, he has taken authority over all of it. This is the hour where God exposes what was concealed, reverses what was stolen, and tears apart the web of confusion that tried to keep you trapped. Even the assignments that were set in motion long before this moment, assignments designed to sabotage your confidence, drain your energy, weaken your hope, or tarnish your purpose, are being cut off. The enemy can hide plans from you, but he cannot hide them from God. The enemy can disguise attacks from you, but he cannot disguise them from heaven. And because God sees what you cannot see, he is intervening in ways that are deeper, stronger, and more precise than anything you could orchestrate on your own. As you rest, as you breathe, as you listen, know that God is dismantling structures that were positioned to work against you. These are not just random obstacles. They are strategic assignments that try to delay what God has ordained. But tonight, the Lord is dismantling every system that was secretly designed to limit your influence, your progress, your finances, your relationships, your health, your mindset, or your spiritual growth. God is breaking cycles that were inherited, patterns that were repeated, and agreements that were made in ignorance or vulnerability. He is uprooting generational seeds of disruption disconnecting you from toxic spiritual alignments and removing the weight of battles that were never yours to fight. Even the inner battles, the fears that grew silently, the insecurities that were nurtured by old wounds, the lies you believed because of past experiences. God is confronting them. He is dealing with the roots, not just the symptoms. He is healing the foundation, not just the surface. He is restoring your identity, not just your emotions. Every hidden agenda that tried to distort your understanding of who you are and what you carry is losing power in the presence of His truth. There are moments in life where the real warfare never appears on the outside. It happens quietly within your mind, your thoughts, your desires, your decisions, your habits. And the enemy often works subtly, planting doubts, nurturing fears, amplifying small frustrations, magnifying small failures, until they begin to shape how you see yourself. But tonight, God is dismantling those hidden narratives. He is breaking the internal agreements you unconsciously made with defeat, fear, unworthiness, or limitation. He is canceling every mental pattern that aligned with darkness and renewing your mind with a fresh wind of clarity, strength, and spiritual authority. Every negative voice that echoed from your past, every internal criticism that kept you small, every shadow of shame that followed you through seasons is being confronted by the light of God. He is dismantling the silent warfare that no one knew you were fighting, the battles you never spoke about, the heaviness you tried to carry alone, the confusion you tried to hide. Tonight, the Spirit of God is lifting burdens you were never meant to bear and breaking inner cycles that quietly drained your strength. Every secret opposition, every disguised hindrance, and every cloaked attack that was orchestrated in the spiritual realm is being overturned. You are not stepping into the next season carrying sabotage. You are stepping into it carrying victory. The enemy does not attack what has no potential. He attacks what threatens his agenda. He attacks what carries impact. He attacks what has a future. And if darkness fought you, it is because you carry something heaven has endorsed. But God is not just blocking the attacks. You serve a God who destroys the strategy behind them. He dismantles the root, the plan, the motive, the network, the influence, the cycle. He doesn't just stop the storm. He addresses what created it. Every force that desired to sift you, drain you, distract you, or silence you is now being scattered. Every demonic counsel that discussed your name, every gathering of darkness that strategized against your purpose, every unseen power that tried to weaken your path is being dismantled by fire. The same God who breaks chains also breaks the factories that produce those chains. He is thorough. He is precise. He is intentional. Even the relationships that carried hidden motives, the voices that pretended to support you, the opportunities that looked good but carried spiritual traps. God is dismantling their influence. He is severing connections that were sent to delay you disguised as help. He is exposing conversations spoken in private that did not align with His purpose for you. He is removing people who were not assigned to your next season, protecting you from agreements that would have harmed your destiny, and shielding you from doors that were not meant to be opened. And He is doing it gently, quietly, mercifully, without chaos, without panic, without fear. God is not only dismantling the plans of darkness, He is preserving your peace as He does it. Every shift He makes with the intention to stabilize you, strengthen you, and prepare you for what He has already ordained. You are not losing. You are being protected. You are not being rejected. You are being redirected. You are not being isolated. You are being insulated. God is dismantling the darkness around you, but He is also dismantling the darkness that tried to come against you within the doubt, the fear, the stress, the spiritual fatigue. He is giving you rest while he does the work. You are not being asked to fight, you are being asked to trust. You are not being asked to strive, you are being asked to surrender to his covering. In this moment, as you listen, God is adjusting the spiritual architecture surrounding your life. He is closing dark pathways that were once open and blocking access points the enemy used to enter. He is sealing the cracks in your spiritual defenses. He is strengthening the walls of your discernment. He is elevating your discernment so you can detect what previously went unnoticed. He is teaching your spirit to recognize what does not belong. Every hidden agenda of darkness that once moved freely is now being suffocated by the presence of God. Nothing the enemy planned will survive the light that is entering your life tonight. You are stepping into a new season of spiritual clarity where nothing disguised will be able to deceive you. You will sense earlier, see deeper, and hear sharper. God is dismantling the darkness, not only for your protection, but for your elevation. What once confused you will become clear. What once weighed you down will lose its influence. What once intimidated you will no longer hold power over your spirit. As God dismantles the hidden agendas, he is clearing the path ahead of you, making room for destiny, making space for breakthrough, opening doors of favor, and preparing you for the next dimension of your assignment. Every invisible resistance is being removed. Every unseen battle is being settled. Every spiritual entanglement is being cut loose. In this midnight hour, you are being repositioned, strengthened, and secured by God himself. The darkness that once worked against you is losing its authority. The hidden agendas that once influenced your life are dissolving. The plans formed in secret are unraveling. Heaven is stepping into your story, and nothing formed against you can stand in the presence of God's unfolding victory. Angelic forces are being dispatched to guard your sleep and secure your breakthroughs. And as you enter this sacred midnight moment, I want your heart to settle into the quiet knowing that you are not alone. Even now, the unseen world is moving on your behalf. Heaven is not silent. Heaven is not still, and heaven is not distant. God has assigned his messengers, his warriors of light, to surround you, shield you, and carry out his perfect will concerning your life. There are things you cannot fight in your own strength, battles you cannot see with human eyes, and forces you cannot confront in the natural. But God, in his mercy, does not leave you unprotected. He sends angels not as symbols, not as metaphors, but as real, active, powerful beings whose purpose is to enforce divine order around you. As you close your eyes tonight, their presence fills the atmosphere of your home. They take their positions at the entrances, the corners, the thresholds, the unseen spaces where the enemy once sought access. They stand guard with unwavering strength, carrying swords of fire, clothed in light, bearing the authority of the Almighty. And whether you feel it or not, whether you sense it or not, whether you comprehend it or not, their assignment is activated the moment God speaks your name into the night. These angelic forces are not passive observers. They are strategic protectors. They watch over your dreams, monitor your spiritual environment, and intercept every dark operation sent to disturb your rest. There are battles that never touch you because angels intercepted them. There are attacks you never felt because angels blocked them. There are traps you never saw because angels dismantled them. The enemy calculates, but heaven counters before the attack even reaches your doorstep. And while you lie in the stillness of night, heaven is wide awake on your behalf. God's angels are not waiting for sunrise. They are moving right now. They are pushing back the forces that try to drain your joy. They are shutting down the whispers that try to torment your sleep. They are silencing the anxiety that tried to rise when the world became quiet. They are fighting in realms that your human mind cannot fathom, revealing the depth of God's love for you, that he assigns his heavenly warriors to keep watch while your earthly body rests. There are angels assigned specifically to your destiny, angels positioned uniquely for your calling, angels appointed to your lineage and future. They know the path God has laid before you. They know the doors you are meant to walk through, the purpose you are destined to fulfill, the breakthroughs that belong to your name. And so they fight with that knowledge. They guard you according to divine intention, not human perception. They see the enemy's strategies long before you do. They see the patterns of attack that once repeated in your life. They see the weaknesses the enemy tries to exploit. And with every assignment sent against you, heaven releases a counter assignment. The enemy attempts disruption. God releases angels for stabilization. The enemy attempts confusion. God releases angels with clarity. The enemy attempts fear. God releases angels carrying peace. Every work of darkness is met with a force of light far stronger than anything formed against you. As you sleep, these angelic forces are ministering to your spirit. They whisper peace where anxiety tried to rise. They strengthen you in places where your soul felt weary. They align your rest with divine restoration so that your body, mind, and spirit awaken, refreshed, renewed, and repositioned. Your sleep becomes a spiritual sanctuary, a place where God restores what the day attempted to drain. Even in your dreams, the angels of God protect you. They guard the gateways of your subconscious, ensuring that no dark imagery, no spiritual intrusion, no oppressive presence has access to your inner world. They dismantle nightmares, silence spiritual disturbances, and escort you into a realm of divine rest. The enemy does not have legal access to your sleep. Heaven has claimed it. Your bedroom becomes a spiritual fortress, surrounded by divine protection, saturated with God's presence, filled with angelic activity. And beyond your sleep, these angels are securing your breakthroughs. Breakthroughs are not random events. They are strategic manifestations that often arrive after spiritual alignment occurs in the unseen realm. Angels are often the carriers, the facilitators, the deliverers of what heaven has ordained for you. They go before you into appointments, conversations, and opportunities. They influence the timing of events, aligning circumstances so that everything works together according to God's purpose. The breakthroughs that seem sudden in the natural were long prepared in the spiritual. Angels push aside obstacles that once blocked you. They move hearts that were once resistant. They open doors that were once sealed. They create pathways where there were none. They clear the ground for what God is building in your life. Some breakthroughs require warfare. Others require alignment. All breakthroughs require divine enforcement, and angels are the enforcers of heaven's will. They ensure that what God has spoken concerning your life comes to pass without interruption. They carry instructions, shift spiritual logistics, and release favor over your steps. You are not stepping into your breakthrough alone. You are stepping into it surrounded by heavenly assistance. Even in moments where you felt stuck, heaven was working. Even when you felt forgotten, angels were active. Even when you thought nothing was happening, the spirit realm was preparing what your natural eyes would soon see. Angels have gone ahead of you to secure blessings, opportunities, promotions, connections, and victories that no human hand can sabotage. They are breakthroughs connected to your name that angels have been guarding for years. Breakthroughs the enemy tried to hijack, delay, or distort. But tonight, heaven reinforces its claim over what belongs to you. The angels assigned to your destiny are reestablishing divine order around your life. They are retrieving what was stolen. They are restoring what was lost. They are securing what is coming. You are not fighting for your breakthrough. You are receiving what has already been secured in the Spirit. Every blessing God ordained is guarded. Every door God promised is protected. Every season God has prepared is shielded. You will not miss what God has designed for you. You will not lose what heaven has sealed. You will not be denied what angels have been dispatched to deliver. as you listen, allow your heart to settle into a deep peace. The pressure lifts because angels are lifting the weight. The fear dissolves because angels are standing guard. The uncertainty fades because heaven is already ahead of you. You are surrounded, covered, and upheld by forces stronger than anything formed against you. Heavenly protection is not a hope, it is a reality. Angelic assistance is not symbolic, it is present. God's guardianship is not distant, it is active. In this midnight hour, heaven is closer than your breath. As you rest, God's angels remain awake. As you sleep, heaven continues its assignments. As you surrender, divine order is established. And as this midnight moment unfolds, angelic forces are securing both your rest and your future with a calm, unshakable, unstoppable grace. Every cycle of delay, oppression, and spiritual attack is being broken by the fire of God. And as you settle into this midnight moment, I want your spirit to gently absorb the truth that heaven is interrupting patterns that once held you back. There are cycles you lived with for years, cycles that repeated themselves in different forms, cycles you tried to escape but somehow kept finding your way back into. These cycles were engineered to exhaust you, distract you, drain you, and keep you from stepping fully into the life God ordained for you. But tonight, in the stillness of this sacred hour, the fire of God is moving through the unseen architecture of your life, consuming every pattern that did not come from Him. Cycles that once defined your nights, defined your days, defined your decisions, and shaped your emotions are losing power. The disruptions that once threw you off course are being dismantled. The heaviness that once hung over your spirit is being lifted. The invisible chains that kept you tethered to the same experiences, the same disappointments, the same fears, the same frustrations are being broken by divine fire. The fire of God is a purifying fire, a consuming fire, a transformative fire. It touches what is unclean and it becomes clean. It touches what is broken and it becomes whole. It touches what is demonic and it becomes powerless. There is no darkness that the fire of God cannot penetrate. There is no pattern too old, no cycle too deep, no wound too ancient that His fire cannot heal or destroy. Tonight, that fire is addressing the areas of your life where delay has become normal. Delay is not just the slowing down of progress. It is the spiritual interference that distorts your timing, blurs your clarity, and weakens your expectation. But the fire of God is burning through every delaying force that manipulated your momentum. It is clearing pathways, sharpening your discernment, realigning your steps, and restoring the divine rhythm of your journey. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are not disqualified. You are being repositioned. Every delay that was sent to frustrate you, intimidate you, or discourage you is being overturned by the authority of heaven. The fire of God is consuming the spiritual webs that tangled your forward movement, and you are stepping into a season where grace accelerates what delay once hindered. Oppression, too, is losing its grip. Oppression is often invisible, felt before it is understood, sensed before it is named. It comes like a weight, like a heaviness, like a low cloud that follows without explanation. It makes simple tasks feel difficult. Joyful moments feel heavy. Possibilities feel distant. But oppression cannot survive the fire of God. The fire of God confronts the root of oppression. It doesn't negotiate with it. It burns away the spiritual burdens you were never meant to carry. It uproots the lies the enemy whispered into your soul. It breaks the influence of voices that spoke against your identity. It silences the internal noise that made peace feel far away. Tonight, the fire of God is addressing the oppression that tried to suffocate your gifts, your joy, your confidence, your clarity, your courage. It is burning away the residue of past seasons that left their mark on your heart. It is releasing you from emotional prison, spiritual fatigue, and mental fog. You are not meant to live under oppression. You are destined to live in freedom. And heaven is removing the weight piece by piece, layer by layer, until your spirit feels light enough to move, breathe, think, and believe again. Every spiritual attack that once had access to your life is being broken. Not just resisted, not just delayed, not just weakened, broken. The fire of God does not leave traces of bondage intact. It destroys the root, the seed, the residue, and the memory of the attack. Every demonic assignment, every dark observation, every monitoring spirit, every whisper of fear, every cycle of nightmares, every sudden distraction, every spiritual disturbance that tried to move in the shadows of your life is being confronted by divine fire. Spiritual attacks often intensify in moments of transition, growth, spiritual awakening, or elevation. The enemy senses movement and tries to counter it. But tonight, the fire of God is announcing that your spiritual territory is no longer available for trespass. The walls of your life are being fortified. The gates of your destiny are being guarded. The atmosphere of your home is being sanctified. What once entered easily will now meet a wall of divine fire. What once whispered in your ear will now be silenced. What once tried to drain your energy will now be burned away before it gets close. Heaven is not just protecting you, it is purifying the space around you so that spiritual attacks lose every point of access. The cycles of delay are being broken not just in the natural, but in the spiritual realm. Delay often builds patterns in thinking, patterns in expectation, patterns in self-perception, patterns in belief. But the fire of God is breaking even the internal cycles that delay created. He is restoring your sense of divine timing. He is healing your relationship with waiting. He is aligning your expectation with his promises instead of your past experiences. The internal dialogue that once echoed disappointment, fear, impatience, or frustration is being replaced with divine assurance. Your spirit is learning to trust again, to expect again, to believe again. You are stepping into a season where you will not just see changes externally, you will experience transformation internally. Depression, too, leaves patterns of shrinking, patterns of silence, patterns of second guessing, patterns of emotional exhaustion. But the fire of God is burning away even the internal structures that oppression built. You will not carry the mindset of a burdened soul into your next season. You will not carry the fear of falling back into old patterns. The enemy will not use old wounds to influence new opportunities. The fire of God is healing your inner world, giving you the emotional freedom to step into purpose without hesitation. You will think clearly, move confidently, speak boldly, and rest deeply. Your emotions are being healed. Your mind is being renewed. Your spirit is being strengthened. Oppression cannot coexist with the fire of God. And tonight, it is being consumed at its root. Every spiritual attack that once felt overwhelming is losing its power. The fire of God does not allow attacks to recycle. The enemy repeats what worked in the past. He revisits the strategies used in old battles. He tries to create fear by bringing back familiar patterns. But the fire of God is breaking the cycle of recycled attacks. What the enemy used before, he will not be able to use again. What once triggered you will no longer move you. What once intimidated you will no longer shake you. What once disturbed your sleep will no longer enter your night. You are being fortified in ways you may not fully understand yet. Heaven is strengthening your spiritual resilience. The fire of God is burning away weaknesses the enemy once exploited and sealing openings he once used to access your life. This fire is gentle enough to heal you, but fierce enough to destroy what harmed you. It burns with purpose, wisdom, and precision. It burns in silence, without chaos, without fear, without disruption to your peace. As you breathe in this moment, let your spirit feel the warmth of God's fire moving through every corner of your life. It is burning away cycles that exhausted you. It is clearing the remnants of seasons that drained you. It is breaking the patterns that tried to cage you. You are stepping into a new dimension of spiritual freedom. You are stepping into a new flow of divine ease. You are stepping into a new rhythm of supernatural clarity. What once held you no longer has permission to remain. What once delayed you no longer has the authority to influence. What once oppressed you no longer has the power to linger. What once attacked you no longer has the right to return. The fire of God has gone before you, and everything that was not aligned with his purpose is being consumed. This is the hour of release, the hour of breaking, the hour of transformation. This is the moment where your spirit rises above every limitation, every cycle, every shadow. And as you rest tonight, the fire of God continues to work quietly, deeply, unshakably, ensuring that every cycle of delay, oppression, and attack is broken beyond repair by his holy fire. Your midnight prayer is activating supernatural alignment, divine protection, and unstoppable favor. And as you enter this sacred moment, I want you to feel the gentle shift happening around you and within you. There is a quiet, holy order being established in the unseen realm, and your spirit is being ushered into a place where everything begins to align according to the will of God. Alignment is not merely about events falling into place. It is about heaven arranging your steps, your relationships, your opportunities, your thoughts, and your path with supernatural precision. Alignment means that what once felt disorganized, scattered, or confusing begins to make sense. It means the weight of uncertainty begins to lift. It means the pieces of your life that once felt disconnected suddenly begin to connect in a divine rhythm. Every prayer you pray at midnight enters the atmosphere with authority and begins to synchronize your life with heaven's blueprint. There are things you have been trying to fix on your own, things you've tried to make work, things you pushed and pulled and rearranged. But in this moment, you are releasing the pressure and letting God set everything in its rightful place. Heaven is aligning your spirit with peace, aligning your purpose with clarity, aligning your heart with healing, aligning your steps with divine direction, and aligning your journey with the timing of God. In this hour, alignment is happening not because of your effort, but because of his presence. Supernatural alignment means that God is correcting what the enemy tried to distort. It means he is restoring what felt lost. It means he is repairing what was damaged. It means he is directing where you should go next. You may not see the full picture yet, but alignment often begins in places unseen. In the quiet of midnight, God straightens what was crooked and reroutes what was misdirected. He adjusts your perception, clears your inner vision, and helps you discern what is of him and what is not. Your midnight prayer becomes a spiritual recalibration where everything inside of you begins to agree with God's truth again. You stop fighting battles that were never yours. You stop entertaining thoughts that drain your strength. You stop holding on to people who are not assigned to your future. You stop following paths that are not connected to your destiny. Alignment removes confusion and replaces it with clarity. It removes fear and replaces it with confidence. It removes hesitation and replaces it with divine certainty. Your spirit begins to walk with a quiet assurance that you are exactly where God wants you to be. And even if you are still waiting for certain doors to open, you are no longer anxious about the timing. God is aligning your life so beautifully that even what once felt like a mistake will be woven into your purpose. As alignment settles into your atmosphere, divine protection rises around you like a fortress. You are not stepping into the next season unguarded. Heaven has surrounded you with supernatural defense systems that the enemy cannot penetrate. Divine protection means that God is not only securing your present, but also fortifying your future. It means every area of vulnerability is being covered. It means every open door the enemy once used to enter your life is being sealed by God himself. Divine protection does not always appear dramatic. It often feels like unusual peace in the midst of pressure, clarity in the midst of confusion, and strength in the midst of what should have weakened you. It is the quiet sense that something is shielding you, guiding you, and keeping you steady even when life is shifting. That shield is God's presence, and it is wrapping around you tonight in ways deeper than you can imagine. Divine protection means angels are being stationed at the gates of your life. They stand guard over your home, your relationships, your dreams, your assignments, your progress, and your destiny. They dismantle threats before they reach you. They intercept spiritual interference before you feel it. They block what was sent to harm you and redirect what was intended to derail you. You may not hear them, you may not see them, but you will feel the results of their work in the form of peace, safety, and unexpected preservation. Divine protection is not passive. It is fierce, intentional, and unshakable. God is watching over your sleep, over your steps, over your purpose, and over the unfolding of your life with absolute precision. Nothing formed against you has permission to prosper. Nothing spoken against you has authority to stand. Nothing planned in darkness has the power to infiltrate the shield God has placed around you tonight. Heaven is guarding your name, your future, your mind, your spirit, and your calling. As alignment and protection take their place, something powerful begins to rise. Unstoppable favor. Favor that does not rely on qualifications. Favor that does not depend on connections. Favor that does not bow to circumstances. Favor that flows from the throne of God. This kind of favor is not seasonal. It is supernatural. It goes ahead of you and prepares the way. It opens doors that no human can shut. It softens hearts that were once hardened. It influences decisions made behind closed doors. It positions you in rooms you never imagined entering. It draws opportunities toward you and repels attacks against you. Unstoppable favor is God's way of ensuring that what he has spoken over your life comes to pass, regardless of the resistance you faced. It is the manifestation of his hand resting gently yet powerfully upon you. You unstoppable favor means you will walk into blessings that should have taken years, but they will come suddenly. It means you will receive breakthroughs you didn't expect, but heaven has been preparing them long before you prayed. It means people will be compelled to help you, support you, recommend you, and open doors for you, not because of who you are, but because of the favor that surrounds your life. Favor shifts atmospheres. Favor influences timing. Favor accelerates progress. Favor rewrites outcomes. And tonight, your midnight prayer is unlocking a dimension of favor that the enemy cannot block, cannot cancel, cannot delay, and cannot contaminate. Favor is touching your finances, your career, your relationships, your opportunities, your ideas, and your future. What once